Welcome to the 2022-2023 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday edition, February the 5th, 2023. Well, we got the jobs report numbers. We're going to be talking about that last week. They were positive, which is a good sign, but there's also some mixed reviews about the job report. As you know, some mixed angles with this economy here. I pray everyone is well, healthy, and safe. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest interpretation of financial news. I'm not a financial advisor, but I interpret the financial news, as it becomes available for the United States and sometimes abroad. So we're going to get right into it. Today's brief report. We have the jobs report. As you know, we added, quote unquote, 517,000 jobs in January, crushing estimates. Its unemployment rate hit a 53-year low. This all comes ahead of President Biden's State of the Union address on Tuesday. As you know, got to make the numbers look good, and the numbers are good. That's right, in fact. But payroll, non-farm payrolls increased. 187,000 more than the market estimate. Unemployment rate has fell to 3.4%. So things are looking good since May 1969. This is the lowest level ever, according to this report by CNBC. The jobs are added in leisure and hospitality, business services, government, and healthcare. So those are the 4 or 5 sectors that are doing, quote unquote, well. But as we peel back the layers of this economy, ladies and gentlemen, what do we think is going to happen to the, even though we've had these job gains, what happened to the 20,000 layoffs that we had last month from Amazon, and then we had 10,000 layoffs from Microsoft and Google, and those other layoffs in tech sector? So how come there's a discrepancy? Do you believe the job reports numbers that we gain jobs, even though tech sector is laying off people? And we also have the private payroll growth, quote unquote, slowed to 106,000 in January as the weather hit hiring. This is according to ADP, they say. But so they're blaming it on, the media is blaming on the weather. We had those deep freezes there in Texas and other states in the Northeast had this deep freezes in January, and the snowstorm and ice storm. They're saying that that's slowed down the private sector growth, but the private sector, according to most people out in the street, they've been cutting back hours. Some people told me in the retail sector they've been cutting back hours to 32 hours instead of 40 hours because they've been slow in the retail sector and some of these transportation and logistics sector as well. Let me know what you're seeing in the comments. I'm seeing that as well. They're cutting hours to 32 hours instead of 40 hours for a lot of those workers. And also in the private payroll sector, like once again, tech sector's laying off, and now that's going to spill off into these auto sectors. That's going to be laying off because a lot of the used cars are not selling as fast, and new cars are not selling as fast, and they don't need as many workers at these manufacturing plants. So that's also going to be something to look out too. So how can we have all of that going on, but yet the payrolls magically increase, and that the job numbers unemployment magically decreases, but inflation has not gone down. Inflation's at 8.5% and climbing. Wage growth has not kept up. As you know, a lot of these places here, wage growth has diminished in terms of keeping up with inflation, but not even keeping up with just inflation, but just keeping up in general with the cost of living in America. And, this is going to be something to look forward to, that we have to really consider ourselves lucky, because we're just in February. We're still in the first quarter of 2023. We have more job losses coming before summer. More crime is coming before summer. The good news is that we have time to continue to prepare. The good news is, in spite of this, we have more time to shore up not only our families, but our neighborhood, because as crime continues to go, the police and others may be overwhelmed at times with different things that may be happening this year and next year. And so if you have a job, whether you work from home or you actually go to the office, or you are self-employed in a business, continue to make hay while the sun is shining. Continue to work, diligently, because you never know when we're going to be switching over to another system. There's been talk of a CBDC, a digital currency, and all of that. I don't think that's coming up right away till after 2025, 2026 time frame. That's still a few years down the road. Technically, money is already digital. A lot of times it's moving between different banks, already electronically and wired, stuff like that. But in terms of that, the dollar, U.S. dollar, still will be king. It still will be cash flow, will be king until then, because there's so much of it in circulation. We use it to pay other countries' debt. Other countries are indebted to us in the U.S. dollar. They have to pay it back in dollars. So that's why. And the U.S. economy is a $16 trillion economy. All that money circulating is starting to shrink come down a little bit, the money supply, but it's still going to take time. And so that's why dollars will still be king. They just be worth less, as you know, and it'll take more dollars to really make something. Just like when you go to the grocery store, $120 of groceries now, it's not a whole lot, whereas back in the day, it used to be, half a cart full or a cart full. So this is the kind of changes we're going to look forward to. So be blessed, continue to prepare, and I'll talk to you later on this week. We're going to have more earnings season reports, more reports as the Federal Reserve has already raised interest rates, but just a quarter percentage point. So we're going to see how that affects the mortgage loans. Mortgage rates will go up. I predict the 7%, and also auto loans and car loans rates will go up to about 8-9% too as well for used cars. So look out for that this coming week, and we'll talk soon. Be blessed. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening.